Hello everyone, my name is Dimitrova and today we're going to talk about gun control. Imagine you're walking down the street and you hear gunshots. How would you feel? Would you feel safer if people had guns, or would you feel safer if guns were harder to get? This is the question at the heart of the gun control debate. Gun control is one of the most controversial topics in the world today. Some believe that strict laws will prevent gun violence, while others believe that having guns makes people safer. The truth is, this debate is not simple. Guns are used for protection, for crime, and for sport. So the big question is, how much control is too much? In this presentation, we will explore both sides of the argument. We will look at history, real-world examples, and the ethical issues involved. By the end, I hope you have a clear idea of where you stand on this issue. So, what exactly is gun control? Gun control refers to the laws and policies that decide who can buy, own, and use guns. Some countries, like the UK, have very strict laws, while others, like the US, have more freedom when it comes to gun ownership. For example, I'm from Bulgaria, and here guns are strictly forbidden. The main debate is between those who believe guns should be controlled to increase safety and those who believe that owning a gun is a personal right and should not be taken away. Gun laws have changed over time, especially after major tragedies. We'll talk about one of them after a few slides. But in the US, the Second Amendment protects the right to own guns. But after mass shootings, some people push for stricter laws. Other countries like the UK and Australia passed strong gun control laws after the mass shootings I spoke about earlier. The big question is, should laws change after tragic events, or should gun rights always stay the same? Now I'll give you some arguments for gun control, and then we're going to talk about against gun control. So supporters for gun control believe that having fewer guns in society will reduce gun violence. They argue that background checks can prevent dangerous people from getting guns. Many also say that military-style weapons like assault rifles should not be available to the public. This is a very strong argument. Countries with strict gun laws, such as Japan and Australia, have very low gun violence rates. This is also a very strong argument, and supporters believe that the US should follow their example. Now we'll look at some arguments that are against gun control after we saw some very strong arguments for gun control. So people against gun control argues that gun ownership is a basic right, and they believe that people need guns for self-defense. They also point out a very strong argument that criminals do not follow the law anyway, so gun control won't stop them from getting weapons. Some people believe that if responsible citizens have guns, they can stop crimes. Lastly, some worry that if the government takes away guns, it could lead to too much control over the people, and after all, they're free. Let's look at some ethical issues that are connected to gun control. So the gun control debate is not just about laws, it is also about ethics, as I said. One big ethical question is, should the right to own a gun be more important than protecting people from gun violence? Another question is whether we can balance personal freedom with public safety. Some people argue that the government should protect people by limiting guns. Others believe that the government should not have the power to take away rights because, as I said earlier, we're free. We should decide who can own a gun. We should decide, or the government should decide. These are all very difficult questions. I would like to tell you a very specific case study about the UK versus the US. So the UK banned most handguns after a school shooting in 1996. Since then, gun violence has decreased, obviously. But the US has different gun laws in every state. So some states have strict laws while others do not. So the US has much higher gun violence, as you can imagine. This raises the question, do strict gun laws make a country safer? Looking at some statistics, I realized that according to Amnesty International, more than 600 people die every day from gun violence worldwide. The US has more guns than any other country and also has one of the highest rates of gun violence. In contrast, countries with strict gun laws like Japan have very few gun-related deaths. The data suggests that gun laws may play a role of reducing violence, but it is not the only factor. Doing this presentation, I started thinking, is it possible to find a middle ground? Can we protect the right to own guns while also improving safety? Some possible solutions include stronger background checks to make sure criminals don't get guns, mental health screenings before buying a gun, better education on how to use guns safely. These ideas could help reduce gun violence without taking away people's rights, because as I said, people are still free. So in conclusion, gun control is definitely not a simple issue, and some people focus on public safety while others focus on personal freedom, self-defense, and other stuff. Both sides have very valid arguments, and instead of fighting over who is right, the goal should be to find solutions that reduce violence while respecting individual rights. No matter where you stand, the most important thing to keep the conversation open and respectful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the attention. Have a great day.